Krishna, Dhanataram Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody would like to sing our prayer today? Radha Krishna Pranamura Bhajan.
I can try, Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Yes, Shriya Mataji. Please go ahead.
Excuse me for my voice. I'm a little under the weather. So, Radha Krishna Prana Mora Chugala Kishora. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Chugala Kishora. Jivane marane gati aro nahi mor. Jivane marane gati aro nahi mor. Kalindira kule keli kadambe ravana. Ratana bedira upar Musabodhu jana. Shyama gori ange dibo chandane ragandha. Chamara dulabo kabe hirimukha chandra. Gatiya malatir mala dibodo har gale. Adare tuliya dibo karpura tambule. Lalita vishakhadi jat sakhi brinda. Aginaya kuribo seba Charanaaravinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nasiranudas Seva Bilasha Kore Narottama Das. Radha Krishna Prana Mura Chugala Kishora. Jivane marane gati aro nahi mor. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shri Sakhivranda Vigyapti ki jai. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Shri Mataji ki jai. Mataji, you want to read the translation also?
Yes, I can do that. The divine couple, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, is my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small kadamba trees on the bank of the Yamuna, I'll sit the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. I'll anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste scented with chuya, and I'll fan them with the chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon-like faces? After stringing together garlands of malti flowers, I'll place them around their necks, and I'll offer tambulas scented with camphor to the lotus mouths. With the permission of all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha, I'll serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for this service to the divine couple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so Narottam Das Thakur is giving us, by his own example, how to serve the lordships. Right. So this is how we learn from predecessor acharyas and follow in their footsteps to follow in their footsteps, follow their instructions to how to serve the devotees, how to serve the lordships. So this is why Srila Prabhupada called this ISKCON not just temple, but it is a spiritual university, because we come here to learn the process of bhakti. And yesterday, as we were reading from Prabhupada Lilamrit, Prabhupada is at the Radha Govind Devji temple in Jaipur, which is the Ishtadev, the deities that were worshipped by Srila Rupa Goswami, the foremost acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, following in the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because in his prayers we say, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. So he knew the heart, the core of the heart of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna and Radha combined in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So what is there in the core of Srimati Radharani's heart is always to serve the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So in that mood, Rupa Goswami used to worship these deities. And as we sang this beautiful prayer, you can meditate on Shri Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Devaji. Or as you were singing, I was meditating on Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra, because you are so close to Radha Vrindavan Chandra in New Vrindavan. Thank you so much for singing and reading, Shri Mataji. Okay, so let's continue with Prabhupada Lilamrit. We are on chapter 38. So yesterday we saw, yes, Prabhupada was originally in Bombay, and then we saw how Prabhupada was talking about buying that land in Bombay, and we saw he gave how many? I was reflecting later. It was almost 1.6 million rupees, which is 16 lakhs. We are just like we do 16 mala, sola mala. So Prabhupada, everything that he touched, like he was a touchstone, everything that he touched became devotional. So 16 lakh rupees is what he finally agreed to for the Bombay land. And he said, we will give 50,000 now, 50,000 later, and then we'll move in after we give 1 lakh, and then we'll give 1 more lakh to make the down payment of 2 lakhs. And then eventually we'll give 14 lakhs slowly. So, but at the same time, his disciples were not convinced that this is the land, because it was infested with mosquitoes and rats, and it was like out in the suburbs of the city with very few people. But again, Prabhupada, this is transcendental vision. He knew what he wanted to do. And he, in fact, a very nice instruction he gave to Tamal Krishna Maharaj was, don't you want to become purified? Right? So then Prabhupada teaches us again that purification comes through austerity, through sacrifice, through cleanliness. He was saying, if my disciples are clean and they chant Hare Krishna, just like all of us, we wake up in the morning, we ensure we are external and internal cleanliness. Taking a bath is external cleanliness, but when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it helps us to cleanse our minds. It helps us to cleanse internally. So with that cleanliness, when we chant, we are purifying our body and our mind. And Prabhupada said, in other places, Prabhupada used to say, books are the basis, purity is the force. So this purity comes by cleanliness, by austerity, by sacrifice. Like the Sankirtan Yajna is a sacrifice that we are doing. So anyway, so that was that. And then Prabhupada, after moving from Bombay, he came to Jaipur yesterday at the Radha Govind Devji temple, like we were talking about, the deities of Sri Rupa Goswami. And here Prabhupada is instructing his disciples lovingly, sometimes chastising them for some of their mistakes. But again, at the core of his heart is always the mood to discipline his devotees, his disciples, so that they can become pure and they can continue to serve even after he leaves this mortal world. And Prabhupada was sending these wonderful deities. Jaipur is a very nice city also. We were talking yesterday about some of the qualities of this temple and what they have. And the deities that most of the ISKCON temples get are also from Jaipur. And my Guru Maharaj used to say that, the deity, the Murti Wala of Jaipur, he will outside his shop, he has like a banner. It says the famous Murti Wala of ISKCON deities. but but he will say that yes, he's trying to take the credit for all the wonderful deities, but actually the credit should go to the wonderful devotees of the movement, because as devotees, so humbly, so lovingly, they are taking care of the deities so nicely. Like we go to these temples in New Vrindavan, and here all the other temples in US. Most of those deities have come from Jaipur. But how lovingly the devotees every single morning performing Mangalarti, offering, bhogas at various different times of the day, almost like with so much love and care, they're taking care of the deities. So my Guru Maharaj used to say that the credit should actually go to the wonderful devotees who are doing all this seva to the lordships. Yes, and some credit we can certainly give to the Murtiwala of Jaipur also. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue reading from here. Prabhupada, anybody would like to read today?
Yeah, I can go ahead, bro.
Yes, please. Nalin Prabhu, go ahead. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada had also asked several women devotees to carefully observe the deity worship in Jaipur. They informed him they had observed that every night the deities were dressed in night clothes and that their clothes were also changed at two other times. In the morning and in the afternoon, the woman told Prabhupada how a priest offered the deities scented oils on cotton-tipped sticks, which the priest would later offer, along with flower garlands from the deities, to the incoming worshippers in exchange for fresh garlands. These devotional practices were standard, Prabhupada said, and could be introduced throughout ISKCON. Each evening, Prabhupada spoke at the pandal, and often a respectable Jaipur citizen would introduce him. When the Queen of Jaipur introduced him one evening, she expressed her devotional sentiments for Prabhupada and his movement. After lecturing each evening, Prabhupada would stay for a slideshow of ISKCON's activities around the world. One night during the slideshow, Srila Prabhupada called Tamala Krishna over beside his Vyasasana. Taking sannyas will be difficult now, he said softly. Your wife will suffer too much. He sat back a moment while Tamal Krishna took in what he had said. Then Tamal Krishna leaned forward and said with his determination, one way or another, Srila Prabhupada is going to suffer. Either she will suffer now when I take sannyas, or if I take sannyas, later on she will be just as unhappy. There will never be a time when she will want me to. So since the feeling is going to be the same, it might as well come now. Free me, she will get over it. Prabhupada said no more, but he remained thoughtful. Later that night, after Ram, he called for his sannyasi disciples, Subala, Madhudvisa, Gargamuni, and Devananda, and for his personal secretary, Shyam Sundara. Gathering them together along with Tamala Krishna, he said, Tamala Krishna wants to take sannyasa. So, what is your opinion? Should he take or not? Everyone agreed he should. Finally, Prabhupada consented. You have to prepare things, he said. Things are prepared already, Tamal Krishna said. Then said Prabhupada, tomorrow morning we must have the ceremony. The next morning, Prabhupada performed a special ceremony in the Padda, lighting the sacrificial fire and offering Tamal Krishna the sannyas danda. The women were angry with the Tamal Krishna, but it was too late. After the ceremony, Prabhupada called the Tamal Krishna Maharaj to his room. You have given up a very good wife and high position. Therefore, I am giving you the title Goswami. Now you have to be in the same mode as the Goswamis, being able to preach all over the world and accept disciples. Suddenly Prabhupada began to laugh. I have been testing you, he said, to see whether or not you are determined. So what will you do? I thought I would give with my danda and danda said Tamal Krishna Goswami, and without anybody else, simply wander from city to city in India and preach about Krishna without any vehicle or anything, just like Lord Chaitanya did. Very good, Prabhupada said. Tamal Krishna Maharaj offered obeisance and walked out. Scarcely an hour later, however, Prabhupada called him back. This is not a very good proposal, he said. If you want to do something, you should have some assistant and facilitate your disposal. Prabhupada then assigned a couple of brahmacharis to go with Tamal Krishna Maharaj for preaching. He also sannyasi, his first assignment. Immediately after Jaipur, Prabhupada was planning to go to a festival in Nairobi, Africa. Yet in Ahmedabad, another program awaited him. You go on my behalf to Ahmedabad, said Prabhupada. At Tamal Krishna Goswami's sannyas initiation, Srila Prabhupada had given him the sannyas mantra, a verse that describes the surrendered devotional attitude of the Vaishnava sannyasi. Vaishnavas sannyasa emphasize engaging one's body, mind, and the words in ecstatic service to Krishna, as distinguished from the sannyasa of the impersonalists who speculate on Brahman or sit alone in the silent meditation. The Vaishnava sannyasi, by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, crosses the ocean of nescience and brings others across with him. As Srila Prabhupada was demonstrating, Vaishnava sannyasi should travel all over the world, working with all his might to reclaim the fallen souls on behalf of Lord Krishna. Vaishnava sannyas meant coming to places like Jaipur and preaching. It meant worshipping Govindaji in the temple, and it meant sending Radha Govinda to be worshipped by the devotees in university. It meant allowing women an equal opportunity to become pure devotees in Krishna consciousness, and it meant separating a man from his wife for the higher purpose of the sannyas. Srila Prabhupada, although beyond Varnasrama designation of sannyasa, was nevertheless the best sannyasi and the creator of many other sannyasis whom he instructed to follow in his footsteps. He said his sannyasi should do even more than he make more followers, publish more books, and establish more ISKCON centers. Bombay, January 24th, 1972. On returning to Bombay, Prabhupada was disappointed to find out the devotees, and neither paid Mr. N nor moved to Juhu. Madhu Dvisaswami, whom Prabhupada had put in charge, frankly admitted his inability to accept the responsibility for such a different project. The disciple Prabhupada had originally deputed to handle such affairs was Tamal Krishna Maharaj. But now that he had taken sannyasa, he had renounced his GBC duties for traveling and preaching, and Prabhupada was without a manager for Bombay. Already Prabhupada was doing most of the managing, but he could not do everything. He could not stay constantly in Bombay. Searching for a veteran disciple to manage Juhu, Prabhupada thought of Brahmananda Swami, who was still preaching in Nairobi. Prabhupada decided to fly to Africa and invite Brahmananda Swami to come and manage Bombay. He wanted to act swiftly so that ISKCON could be possession of the land. Even if Mr. N changed his mind later, once the devotees were living on the land, getting them to leave would be very difficult for him. Srila Prabhupada planned to fly to Nairobi immediately, and he wanted to carry large Radhakrishna deities with him. The deities he had previously sent to Nairobi had been broken in shipping, so this time Prabhupada brought with him strong-bodied Madhud Visa Swami to carry something went up. Okay. To carry the 36-inch marble deities. With a special permission from the airlines, Prabhupada boarded, followed by Madhudvisa Swami, who held in his arms the 100-pound deity of Krishna. After setting Krishna in place besides, Prabhupada said, Madhudvisa Swami left the plane and came back carrying Radharani. Prabhupada passed more debating with Madhudvisa Swami, who took the position of the impersonalist. Prabhupada would always defeat him. This is how you become a preacher, Prabhupada said. You must be able to take both sides of the argument and defeat your adversary. This is what Lord Chaitanya would do. Since Prabhupada's first visit to Nairobi 4 months ago, Brahmanand Swami and a few American devotees had rented a house near the city. They had recruited some African devotees but had not yet developed a temple and asrama. Barely able to maintain their own simple program, they were unprepared to receive Srila Prabhupada properly. Typical Srila Prabhupada's stay in Nairobi was his arrival. No one was at the airport to meet him. The devotees were not even sure if Prabhupada was coming. Prabhupada's secretary had phoned Brahmananda Swami that Prabhupada was willing to come Kenya, but that Brahmananda Swami should try to arrange a meeting with a president and schedule a big Pandal festival. Brahmananda Swami, however, had never received a can I scroll up? Received a clear message of when Prabhupada was coming. At the airport, Prabhupada and Madhudvisa Swami carefully put the Radhakrishna deities into a taxi cab and rode with them to the address of the ISKCON center. Prabhupada rang the doorbell, and when Brahmanand Swami opened the door and saw his spiritual master, he cried out, Prabhupada, and bowed down. What happened? Prabhupada asked, standing beside Radhakrishna. Why no one came to pick up to pick us up at the airport. Ramanand Swami was unable to reply. No sooner did Prabhupada arrive than his assistant, Madhud Viswaswamy, became bedridden with hepatitis. Prabhupada had left his regular secretary, Shyama Sundara, in India to work on a legal case concerning the Mayapur land. So he was now without a personal assistant. In Nairobi, Prabhupada followed his usual schedule of bathing, putting on fresh clothes, but one day after his bath, he found that no clothes were ready. When he asked for them, Brahmananda Swami explained that African servant had washed them and put them on the line to dry. But when Brahmananda Swami had gone to them, they had not been there. Apparently, someone had stolen them from the clothes line. Prabhupada tolerated the inconvenience without any display of emotions. That evening, when the devotees of ISKCON Nairobi gathered in the temple to hear Prabhupada speak from the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada saw the different items of stolen clothing on the African boys. One boy wore the kurta, another the top piece, and another the dhoti. Prabhupada pointed this out to Brahmanand Swami, who immediately took the boys out and retrieved the clothing from them. When Brahmanand Swami returned the clothes, Prabhupada didn't seem to take the offense seriously, but only laughed. Prabhupada did not laugh, however, at the Nairobi devotees' bad cooking. When they served him white maize mash, he called it pig food, and the hard white chickpeas, he said, were suitable only for the horses. Then Harikrupa, a black devotee from America, went to the kitchen, boiled some vegetables, and served them to Prabhupada without any spicing. Prabhupada called it dog food. You are still an uneducated African, he told Harikrupa, and he went into the kitchen to cook for himself. Almost a dozen devotees joined him, watching him cook a complete meal of dal, rice, chapatis, and sabji. He cooked enough for all the devotees, and everyone was satisfied. Bad cooking and stolen clothing, however, continued to be problems during the Prabhupada's week-long stay in Nairobi. Brahmanand Swami found that Prabhupada was mostly absorbed in his Bombay project. The only reason I have come, Srila Prabhupada told Brahmanand Swami, is to get you for this. Once he asked Brahmanand Swami which is the most important city in India. Calcutta, Brahmanand replied. Calcutta? Prabhupada looked at him oddly. Don't you know Bombay is number 1, Delhi is number 2, and Calcutta is number 3? Prabhupada encouraged Brahmanand Swami to return with him and take charge of the Bombay project. This Bombay project, he said, would be unique within ISKCON, incorporating the religious with the cultural in the gorgeous temple, international hotel, theatre, and diorama exhibition. Since Prabhupada's strong desire, Brahmananda Maharaj agreed to somehow relinquish his Nairobi responsibility to others and help in Mumbai.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. We'll pause here. Thank you so much for reading. Yes, it's a nice few things we learned from today. I was actually remembering as you were reading how Prabhupada says that, how to preach. You have to take both the sides of the argument, right? We have to play the role of an adversary and then take both sides of the arguments and have debate and then defeat the adversary. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. So, yeah, I think we saw this theme even in when Radheshyam Prabhu was here. We had that he made us read as the two parties, right, in the center program, and similarly Antadeep Prabhu also following in his footsteps. We did a similar thing, and Prabhupada and the other party we were reading that particular instance. Darshit Prabhu and Harshal Prabhu were were playing the roles. So he had a similar thing he did last week when before he was leaving. He had the kids here in Wisconsin, Cincinnati. I think there are few kids who did the same thing. I am yet to watch the whole thing, but I know he was telling at the end when I went there to pick up Harshika and Harita. You were there, of course, and Ria and I think Chinmay and Aryan, and they were doing
Yeah,
something
that was
similar,
also
right?
nice discussion.
Yes, yes. So it's the same theme, like same mood, like how now we see how it is where it is coming from. So Radhesham Prabhu and Antadvi Prabhu, they were making the kids learn that art of how to play the different roles and then engage in debate. And so this is part of Prabhupada Speaks series. So thank you very much for that. And of course, yeah, we also saw how Prabhupada was looking at the determination of Tamal Krishna Maharaj because he wanted to become sannyasi, but he had just recently married. But we see, again how they both they both were debating. So Prabhupada was trying to test his patience and determination, and he was saying like, well, eventually, if not today, in the future, this is going to happen. So the suffering will be there, whether it is now or later. So if it is going to be there, why not just now, right? So, but yeah, it is hard, it is tough. But again, if we keep the most important thing, like our acharyas say, we have to arrange our lives by keeping Krishna in the center first. Right? We have to understand what is the topmost priority, and then our rest of our life should uh, um, vibrate, or rest of the life should actually oscillate around that, the central piece, which is Krishna consciousness, which is performing our bhakti. Um, just like that example of putting rocks in a jar, right? So if you put all small rocks first, pebbles and sand, then you will have no place to put big rocks, right? So first you put big rocks, then you put pebbles, and then finally you put sand, right? So like that, um, we have to understand what is the topmost priority. Okay. Anybody else would like to share anything from today's reading? Any other thoughts that came to your mind? Anything that you liked? Any of your personal reflections, realizations, experiences? 15 members on the call. Anybody? Nandini Gopika Mataji, it's been a while. We heard your voice. Anything you'd like to share? Maybe she's busy.
Well, I was just reflecting on how Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj got his name Goswami, and it's so true. We have a wonderful, we have his books, and one of them is Gurudev, and we kind of always browse through it, see it. But today, when hearing how he at his young age, decided to take sannyas, leave his beautiful wife. And we know, and Nectar of
An
Inspiration.
intelligent wife.
Intelligent wife.
Prabhupada says, beautiful and intelligent wife.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
so wonderful. So wonderful to see how our acharyas, sacrifice so much in the process of becoming who they were and then imparting Krishna consciousness to all of us. So, Jai Gurudev, Jai Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. That's all.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anybody else would like to say anything? Shama Karuna Mataji, anything from your side? Okay. All right. If nothing else, then we'll pause here for today and we'll reconvene again tomorrow to continue this beautiful nectarian book, and which is itself means Leela Amrit. Amrit is nectar of the pastimes of the pure devotees of the Lord, right? So this is why it's non-different from Srimad Bhagavatam. So yeah, thank you for your wonderful association, because in the association of devotees, the nectar becomes even more nectarian. So double the nectar, double the mercy. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavandi ki jai. Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai. समस्त गौड़ी गुरु वृंद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.